get everything all set up here and going right now. For the latest news and trends in pop culture, join me, Gerald Glassford.
And me, Josh Peterson, for the Pop Culture Cosmos right here on KBOG 97.9 FM.
Bandon Community Radio. Bandon Community Radio. For the latest news and trends in pop culture, join me, Gerald Glassford.
And me, Josh Peterson, for the Pop Culture Cosmos right here on KBOG 97.9 FM, Bandon Community Radio.
There you go. You're listening to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And the PCC Multiverse.
You're listening to the Pop Culture Cosmos.
And the PCC Multiverse.
All right. We work with that. On this week's episode, how much of a bite will Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom make at the domestic box office? Why no one should ever count out Disney, and are theaters really trying to match up? Do that again. That stunk. On this week's episode, how much of a bite will Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom make at the domestic box office? Why no one should ever count out Disney, and are theaters really trying to match up to MoviePass? All this and more as we reach our next stop, the PCC Multiverse. Welcome back, everyone. It's another edition of the PCC Multiverse. My name is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly thank you for listening to all of our great shows, but it wouldn't be a PCC Multiverse without my good friend. He is the man, the myth, and the legend from Humanica Media. You gotta check out all the great stuff that's going down there today, including all the videos that he's put up on their Humanica Media YouTube site, as far as from E3 2018 with all the great gameplay videos, his podcast, and so much more. It's my good friend. It's Josh Peterson. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. We're just packing it in here for another great episode. We've got a lot of great stuff to talk about today. We've got so much in as far as Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. We've got a lot going on with the world of Star Wars and so much more, but we'll get into it right now. First, with all the talk when it comes to Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. My friend, it's already garnered over $400 million worldwide. It got released about 2 weeks ago and has been slowly going through every territory right now around the world. It's garnered, like I said, over 400 million, and it's about ready to strike out and attack the domestic box office here. What are your thoughts on Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom? It's got some fairly good reviews so far, some strong, some not so strong, but for the most part, it's near, I should say, the level of what the critical acclaim was for what the previous movie, which was the reboot Jurassic World that came in for it. Your thoughts on the movie itself, and do you think Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom will actually go ahead and is it Jurassic Park or Jurassic World?
It's Jurassic World.
Oh, see, you gotta correct me on that time. So I'm gonna have to put in Jurassic World the whole time. Okay. Well, tell me your thoughts. Just how well will Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom perform at the box office?
I think it's going to perform really well. You been to Target lately?
Well, I've been all over, and I've seen that Jurassic Park and Jurassic World items are selling like hotcakes. Of course, I see a lot of clothing, a lot of tie-ins. I actually see more of that than I do at this point in time than I did when Avengers Infinity War came out, and that was something I told you about that I was kind of disturbed by, that there wasn't a lot of stuff that was made, that was presented for a movie that ultimately garnered over $2 billion.
Right, right. Well, Jurassic World has on its side the fact that there are two theme parks with entire areas devoted to Jurassic Park. So you have people going there, and naturally they're going to be getting stoked about the movie, or you have people down here who are going to watch the movie and then go spend money on the merch. So they're definitely Universal is definitely very, very good at marketing things. They did a good job of taking Jurassic Park and marketing to a new generation with Jurassic World, which was, it wasn't just a good movie for kids, not good movie, but I mean, it was a good movie, but it wasn't just a movie that was fun for kids to watch. It's fun for adults to watch as well because you have a star like Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard. Uh, it's done a great job. Like Jurassic Park after Jurassic Park 3, like the whole franchise was kind of in the ditch, and then they did a good job of bringing it back to life. And I think what right now domestically, not domestic, but foreign has 372 million somewhere around there.
Like I said, when it hits theaters, it should be at 4. They don't update the foreign box office on a daily basis. The last report of 370 million plus was, I think, earlier in the week, but you got to assume it's over 400 at this point in time worldwide, and that's off to a great start. I am kind of a little bit different on your opinion on if it's great for kids. It's kind of scary at point in times. I've told you in the past that I thought it really accentuated Steven Spielberg's love for the horror genre, because he always loves to sneak in on many of his films very scary things that only he can get away with because he's Steven Spielberg and seems to still keep that PG-13 rating. I think that Jurassic World and now Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has followed suit, and especially with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, from what I've seen in the trailers and also read in the reviews and whatnot, that it's really harkened back to that original Jurassic Park when it comes to the anticipation, the suspense, and, well, in many ways, the horror aspect of the actual dinosaurs attacking, eating, and basically scaring people up to in order to have a good time. So it is it for kids? And I don't know. It's borderline, maybe intense, but it's already out in as far as the original Jurassic World, already out on broadcast television, already out on cable television, excuse me. So maybe it's acceptable at this point in time for a generation now. I know you were probably watch it when you were probably about 6 or 7, because you were just all hyped up for that type of stuff. So,
Man, yeah.
yeah, maybe I'm just coming out of diapers for all I know. It's hit me with that scary stuff. So, as far as that's concerned, I just will say this: that Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom is a really big success so far. It is obviously playing to a lot of people out there, both kids and adults alike. So I don't want to go all PTA. I don't want to go all overprotective parent here, because yes, there is going to be some scary parts in it, maybe some stuff that might be a little bit intense for audiences, but hey, that's just up Jurassic World's alley as far as what they're going for. And people are willing to brave it. And actually, this is something that a lot of people were hoping for, a nice follow up to Jurassic World, which garnered $1.6 billion, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check that just to make sure. But your thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's future? Do you think it will also hit $1 billion? It looks like it's trending that way, but you never know when it comes to the box office and what the following weeks have in mind.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. It's not a kids movie, but it's a movie that kids go to see. It's something parents always take their kids and they market to kids, especially. Like you go into Target, they got the big old Tyrannosaurus Rex on the toy aisle, the cardboard cutout, and all
Or
that.
the boys and the girls shirts and all that have the dinosaurs on it and whatnot, because kids love dinosaurs. So I agree with you on that. It may not be a kids movie, but it's definitely marketed to such.
Yeah. As for I can't speak much for the movie because I haven't seen it yet. I got my tickets for Monday, but um, with numbers like this, of course, there's always going to be a future for Jurassic Park because people, they're obviously going to see it and it's garnering decent reception. Literally, I think until the fans say something like, don't make any more of these movies, that's probably when they'll stop making them. But it's exciting to have Jeff Goldblum back, and it would be even better if we could get a Jurassic Park movie where Jeff Goldblum and Dr. Grant and Sadler are all back on the island, not an island, but in some kind of situation where they're running from dinosaurs, just to give us old time fans just that one last taste of nostalgia before you move this completely out of our generation.
They're all still active in the acting world, so they can all do it if they want. But we'll have to clamor more and sign petitions and get on social media for that. But that would be kind of cool just to see that happen. I agree with you on that. And yes, the movie did garner over 1.6, almost 1.7 billion dollars. Jurassic World did at the worldwide box office. So something anywhere near that is just going to be a big win for Universal and the way that they have gone about in promoting this movie. And yes, I too, earlier this year, actually on more than one occasion, have taken a ride on the Jurassic Park water ride. I think it's really fun. I think you should try it because it's really cool. But be that as it may, you're right. The hype is there. They've done a very good job promoting the movie. I thought it was a pretty good trailer as well, backing that up. I think they've done a good job with the series, spacing it out, not crowding it too much, and not overflowing it with, it's the same way that they've done with maybe Star Wars movies and Transformer movies of recent past, as far as putting too much out too soon. I think they've spaced it out very well as far as from the first Jurassic World movie to what we have now and whatever they have planned for a third movie, which I think they will do. If you want to check out one of our previous episodes of the Pop Culture Cosmos or the PCC Multiverse, you want to check out one of our previous episodes on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel. There was a segment where Rob and I did discuss at length the prospects long term for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I did say that it was going to find more success than what Rob did. I don't think Rob had it going over $1 billion. I said it did. I said it would go over $1 billion. It's well on its way to doing so. It will be over $500 million by the end of the weekend. That's pretty much guaranteed. So all it has to do for the rest entirety is just do another 500 million, which I think it can do, and I think it'll probably end up maybe the 1.1, 1.2 billion dollar type scenario, which is a big win again for Universal. I want to ask you this: with that type of success that people are looking forward to when it comes to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, do you see the next in line being the completion of a trilogy, or do you see it as just another stepping stone to a continuous series of Jurassic World films where maybe it will get played out at some future point in time?
Hold on, man. Give me like 1 minute, real quick. So I got neighbors that like walk the dogs by my house, and for some reason they all congregate right in front of my fence where my dogs can see it.
And that's not exactly a good thing for your dogs.
Yeah.
So, prospects on uh, Jurassic World's Fallen Kingdoms, not only a third one, but do you see a point where it's going to be a series, become a series, and that it will get played out at some point in time, or do you see it just as a trilogy, as I think it was meant to be?
I don't I mean, yeah, it'll be Jurassic World trilogy. Yeah, it'll be like the reboot trilogy, but I think more like if they make a third one, it does well, it'll probably end up being a close to a story arc instead of the close to the series.
But
Um,
do you see it getting played out like Transformers? Because I see it going three, but if they really like the money, there could be a continuous future for the Jurassic World series.
oh, and they do really like the money, and Jurassic World brings in the money. And like I said, they got the theme park attractions, they got the toys and all that stuff. Maybe they'll wait a bit before they put some more out so people don't get burnt out on them. But they're just genuinely fun movies, and there's no like mythology you got to hold to. You don't have angry fans on the internet tweeting racist things and stuff like that. It's a good time. You go to the movies, you see the dinosaurs, go watch it on Blu-ray. It's equally exciting. They don't have the downfalls of a lot of these big franchises, but they'll if the money's good, they're gonna keep making them. That's just how Hollywood works. But yeah, we'll see, man. The third one, I'm sure it'll close some kind of story arc, and maybe later on we'll get some kind of a uh new characters or whatever. But yeah, I think for now, Jurassic World is here to stay.
And that's great for any of the dinosaur loving fans that are out there that love the Jurassic Park series and now the Jurassic World series. And I just see right now, like you said, a successful run for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The reviews are strong enough that it's going to get by on a decent word of mouth. And, but like I said, but like I said before, it's not exactly for everyone. There is going to be some intense scenes. That's the idea and nature behind the Jurassic Park and now the Jurassic World series. So be warned, parents out there, just to make sure that they know that their kids are, before they go into the theater, know that, hey, they're going to be hit hard with some dinosaurs that are looking to eat some human beings for lunch, dinner, and maybe an after dinner mint as well. What are your thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Do you think that it's going to be, a true um, uh, big hit at the box office? Do you think it's going to go over $1 billion worldwide? Do you think it's going to be something that's going to keep the Jurassic World train, momentum train, keeping on momentum train going, and just still lead into a third or even more as far as a series of films in the Jurassic World saga? Let us know. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. Also, as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanity Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, like I said, we've got a great episode. Rob McCallum is coming up in the Cosmic Crossfire. He's going to be talking some Lando Calrissian. It's going to be an inspiring segment. And it's going to be an inspiring segment. I'll just let you in on that. Plus, also as well, later in the broadcast, we've got Douglas Hoyobu from Retro City Games. He's going to be talking about what he experienced at E3, including a little inside talk on a secret game Gearbox is developing at this point in time, a special project called Project 1v1. He's going to share his thoughts on that, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and so much more. And then Josh and I are going to be coming in and out here and there and sharing our thoughts on, you just can never count out Disney because they raise the stakes in their battle with Comcast over the Fox properties. We're going to talk about that. And what has MoviePass done as far as the movie industry is concerned? The imprint is there, the success is there, and who's trying to follow in their footsteps as a viable alternative? We're going to shout out some contenders here in a little bit as we close out the show. But we've got, like I said, Rob McCallum coming up next in the Cosmic Crossfire. This is the PCC Multiverse. I gotta do the intro one more time because I said Jurassic Park. Hold on. On this week's episode, how much of a bite will Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom make at the domestic box office? Why no one should ever count out Disney, and are theaters really trying to match up to MoviePass? All this and more as we reach our next stop, the PCC Multiverse. And we're back with the program. Just got to let you know we're on radio 7 days a week, and we truly appreciate everyone who listens to us out there. Plus, we're on over 30 different podcast platforms, including Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and so much more. To check out a listing of many of those outlets, including all the radio stations that we're on, check us out today on our Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page or at Pop Culture Cosmo on Twitter. I know Google Play just started this new Google Play podcast app, so I know people are working that out. So you can find the Pop Culture Cosmos channel on there. Subscribe to it today and get the latest episodes there. Plus, also, I do want to make a shout out to Podchaser for granting us a awarding us as a pod of the day for this past week. One of the days that they honored us with the podcast to be looked at. Well, actually, a spot, kind of like a spotlight on us as a podcast. So we are truly appreciative of Podchaser for doing that as well. Josh, I know you got a great thing going on with Humanica Media. So with all the great stuff going on, you got to share with us what is going on in the world of Humanica Media.
Topicocalypse. That's really just it. You can check out we did some E3 episodes, and there'll be a new episode up. I want to say Sunday night, but yeah, there's just that in the podcast radio network, and which is Tuesday nights, and that's pretty much all we got going on right now. Not a lot of things in the oven.
And you can check it out today on Pop Culture. And you can check it out today on the Humanica Media channel on YouTube. And also, you've got Topicocalypse, you've got What About This, Super BS Gamescast, and Inside Sports. All those channels have great podcasts you need to listen to on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Google Play as well. Josh, we got to talk about this, my friend, because the stakes have been raised. You knew they were going to do it, man. I didn't have any doubt. But Disney has upped their bid in the proposed purchase of the Fox properties involved. Comcast came in with a higher bid in the high 60s. I want to say 68 billion dollars. And lo and behold, only a few days later has Disney reemerged with itself a $71.3 billion offer for the Fox properties in question. So it goes to a shareholder vote. What are they going to decide? What are they going to do? So I ask you, Josh, with Disney making such a large offer, is the Fox properties that worth that kind of money as far as the $71.3 billion offer from Disney at this point in time?
I don't know. I mean, obviously Disney, they're after the Marvel properties. I think that's a big factor in what's leading them to put that much money down on Fox. I don't think that Fox is worth that much. I mean, they make a lot of movies, but not a lot of very successful movies, at least not anymore. A lot of their major franchises have kind of fizzled out over the years, but obviously they have a plan, or else they wouldn't be fighting so hard to get it, because what, Comcast already owns Universal, if I'm correct in that. So yeah, Um, yeah, honestly, like, I think there's plans in motion, and they want it. I think a lot of those plans have to do with the Marvel properties owned by Fox, and because of that, they're in order to make their Marvel timeline move forward, they need some of those characters, and I think that's a big factor leading into them putting more money out there. But let me ask you this, if they didn't have those Marvel properties, do you think the same deal would be going down?
Not in the least. It would be nowhere near. I don't even think Disney would be interested as a whole. And if they would probably lowball Fox pretty harsh on that, maybe to even half the amount that they're talking about right now. I don't think Comcast would. I think Comcast would be more interested than Disney if that's the case in the Fox properties. I know Disney is going to put up a streaming service. They've bought more into Hulu and all that, but I think, like you, that the key part of this is the Marvel properties, the X-Men properties, the Fantastic Four, Deadpool, and all that, that I think they are willing to overspend for it. Do I think for what they're getting, it is worth $71.3 billion? No, I don't think that it is at this point in time. But with all that on the table, and Comcast knows this, and we talked about this similarly in my NBA podcast that I did with Anthony Barber in here, that teams are, in this case, companies are willing to overpay and make that offer because they know someone else is extremely interested for various reasons. And in this case, Comcast knows that Disney wants those Marvel properties in the worst way. And if they're willing to up the stakes, you know what? By all means. And they did. And look what happened. Disney raised the stakes yet again. I'm going to ask you this and your thoughts on it. With all that's going on, do you think that the stakes are going to raise even higher and you're going to see Comcast come with a higher bid?
I don't think so, because Comcast has money, but they don't have Disney money, and whatever higher bid they come up with, if Disney's really on the path we see them on now, they're not going to let Comcast outbid them. If anything, they'll actually cause Disney to pay more money. So maybe that's in their strategy, but who knows, man? I don't see Comcast getting Fox, but I do see Disney getting Fox. And Disney always has proven with Lucasfilms and Marvel, Disney always gets what they want.
Well, that $4 billion they spent on the Star Wars properties seems like it's pretty paltry next to the $71.3 billion they're looking to get to acquire the Fox properties, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of money. I would say that Fox is, they love the bidding war. Yeah, they're still in production as far as I know, right? Sorry. They're still in production as far as I know right now. Like they're still making things. So I don't. Oh. Yeah, man. This whole thing. I doubt Comcast will counter with an have another counter offer, but if they do, it's gonna get interesting.
It is indeed, and it is going to just get really exciting for pop culture fans out there like you and I. If Disney does eventually get that, or if it goes to Comcast, I think that's the wild card in this whole situation. If Comcast actually raises the bid and ultimately does get a successful bid in there, what would they do with all these properties? Because in the case of the Marvel stuff, it's incomplete and they're just going to go ahead and end up being in the same pattern as Fox was. In the case of all the TV stuff, that might make more sense as far as the TV properties that they would be getting and acquiring. That would make much more sense on that end. But you're right. Disney is just pushing hard to try and acquire those properties as a whole, and Fox is just at this point in time is probably just grinning at the fact that Comcast and Fox is going to be in the middle of a bidding war. One last question on this, and before one last question on this before we head over after the break to Douglas Hoyaboo from Retro City Games. I want to ask you this: do you see anyone else throwing their hat into the fray? an Apple, a Netflix, some other entity that could have the kind of dollars, a Google, that could have the kind of dollars to put in there for the Fox properties, and maybe throw a monkey wrench into this whole tit for tat, mano y mano, Mexican standoff type deal between Comcast and Disney?
I don't honestly, like Apple and Amazon. Sorry, man, my dog's barking. Sorry, man. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. What was the question?
Do you see someone throwing a curveball in there, like an Apple, a Google, a Netflix, or someone like that? Amazon, even throwing their name in there, as far as and maybe outbidding both of them.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, like they've got. I'm sure Apple's got the money to do it, but they don't really have the platform right now. They don't have any production studios or any of that kind of thing. They don't really know how to handle something like that.
Well, they just did get in league with Oprah Winfrey as far as creating some original content is concerned.
Yeah, but I don't think they're ready for that level of content, though it would be a shame to lose an opportunity like that. And as for Amazon, I think Amazon's doing just fine on their own. You know, they got their Lord of the Rings series going into development. I think that'll do really well for them. Um, yeah, I don't see it happening. It would be interesting to have them enter the ring, but I don't see that being a thing at this point in time.
If there's anyone, it could be Netflix, because I don't know how they're going to be able to do it, but they just keep throwing money at everything. And Netflix could be an entity that really is like, we've got the money now, or we've got the line of credit. Why don't we just throw a few more $1 billion than Disney or Comcast and see where we can get? But if anyone's going to do it, I would probably say it's them. But you're right. You're right. That's a lot of money already at stake. And man, $71.3 billion for all those Fox properties. They really, really wanted a Disney. It tells me already. So we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out. But the clear favorite right now is Disney. Could Comcast be coming back with another bid? We'll just have to wait and see. But it's all exciting for us pop culture fans to see where all these Fox properties are going to end up with, and where these Fox properties, especially the Marvel ones, are, if they're going to end up at Comcast or they're going to end up back home with Disney and Marvel. What are your thoughts on the latest bid for the Fox properties? Are you excited that Disney is now back in the lead and in the running with a over $71 billion offer? Do you see Comcast coming back with their own offer to supersede that? Or do you see someone else, another entity like Amazon, Netflix, Google, or Apple, coming into the fray and actually making a bid that's even larger for all these Fox properties? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmo. Also Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, like I said, when we come back, we've got Douglas Hoibu from Retro City Games. He's going to share his thoughts on some of the things that he saw at E3 2018, including, like I said before, a secret project behind closed doors from Gearbox, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and a whole lot more. This is the PCC Multiverse. And we're back. Oh. And we're back to close out the show. This is the PCC Multiverse. Want to thank Rob McCallum from Rob McCallum Films for stopping by to talk some inspiring talk in regards to Lando Calrissian. Plus, also as well, we've got want to thank Douglas Hoyabu from Retro City Games sharing his thoughts on E3 2018, and we're going to intercut some of his interviews that he did at E3 2018, along with Josh. You got some as well, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, along with Josh as well. He is going to be. We're going to be intercutting interviews that both Josh and Douglas Hoyabu did from E3 2018 over the next few episodes of the PCC Multiverse and the Pop Culture Cosmos. You'll be hearing that as well. Looking forward to that. Plus, I want to say as well, if you get a chance, check us out on our Pop Culture Cosmos channel on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, because there's a lot of great content that we've added in recent times. Anthony Barberin, our resident NBA expert, he and I did a major conversation on the NBA draft that we just dropped. You got to check it out. Compare it to what the NBA draft did, see how we did, compare it to what our thoughts were at that point in time. Plus, also as well, we have a back half of the episode devoted to the NBA free agency period, which comes up on July 1st. So you got to check that out as well. Also, you've got the original What About This podcast, episode number 1 is on there. A lot of great old Topicocalypse episodes as well. Plus, just some other great stuff, including a full episode of the Cosmic Crossfire. That's up as well. And that's, like I said, you'll get that and our regular shows, the Pop Culture Cosmos and PCC Multiverse, on our Pop Culture Cosmos channel today. So just subscribe to it and get all that great stuff. Josh, before we head on out, I gotta ask you real quick: have you been seeing the news as far as all these theaters just trying to vie for the same space as MoviePass? The entity that they really tried so hard to block, they're now saying, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. But they're not really quite doing that because the deals that are going down are not quite as sweet as what MoviePass is trying to offer.
Well, if I remember correctly, wasn't AMC originally part of the MoviePass deal? And they backed out of it?
I'm not quite sure on that. I do know that there are several AMC theaters have been the most strongest opponent to it and tried to block in several locations that they've that MoviePass customers have tried to go to. I do know that there's, for the most part, you're still able to go into certain AMC theaters and be able to present it and still be able to use it. But I know there was some AMC theaters primarily and some others as well that were trying to block it because of the fact that they weren't generating a whole lot of income from it as well. So,
yeah.
but I know there's some competitors out there, including some theaters, trying to do their own deals, but it's not quite working out as planned. And I got a couple on my list, but I know you've got one as well.
Yeah, but back to the AMC thing, it's like from what I read about, it's like 2 or 3 times the price, and you get less for your money. They should just get on board with MoviePass. I don't know why, because honestly, at this point, like, you have subscription services that have such great content that people are going to be going to the movie theaters less and less, and everyone's like, hey, we got recliners, we got beer, we got wine. You go to have you seen the price of a movie theater beer?
Yeah, we have a few here in town, and it's incredibly high. We when I think the concessions are bad, and then I see the prices for the beer and the wine exceeding $10, that's just ridiculous. And I want to start off by saying, yes, AMC is trying to compete with MoviePass with their own deal, but $20 a month, which is more expensive than MoviePass for only 3 movies, is not exactly a great deal in my estimation.
No, not at all. Okay, so yeah, up in Fresno, there's a thing called Movie Heroes, and you can go, like, most of their movie theaters out there are independently owned and operated, but all these owners are on the same circuit here, and it's called Movie Heroes, and it's $20 a month, but you get unlimited movies. You can go basically like if you wanted to go to the movie theaters all day, you could do that. There's no limits on like new movies or whatever. And if you want to bring friends in, they got all you got to do is present your movie pass, and they only have to pay $5 to get in to the movie theater. And so I think that's probably one of the best deals that I have seen so far. But what are some of the ones that you were looking at?
Well, like I said about AMC, that was the latest attempt at doing so. Another one that makes you got to listen to this one, my friend. Cinemark, they have one at $9 a month, and it offers one. Get this awesome 2D ticket to any movie you want per month. That's one whole movie a month, and if you don't use it, unused tickets will roll over to the next month. So you know what? That could mean a whopping 2 movies in 1 month, but you'll have to skip a month in order to get that. Plus a whole whopping 20% discount on overpriced concessions. How does that deal sound to you, my friend?
Like garbage. Why? Why would they even bother doing that? Like that doesn't even make sense. It's just that's not even a good marketing idea. I don't know. Geez. Wow. Okay.
But you know what the funny part is? Because one of the Cinemark theaters here in town offers $5 showings to brand new movies, to whatever movies that they're playing. And it's, well, I mean, they pretty much run $5 pretty much most of the week. So you could go Monday through Friday at almost any point in time and get a $5 showing there, or the on the weekend at some of the early showings as well. So that really doesn't help you there with this quote unquote really great bargain. And I'm being totally facetious there as far as a competitor to what MoviePass has to offer. You and I both have questioned in the past the continuous validity of the MoviePass concept, because we didn't think that was going to be able to work out this long for MoviePass customers. We thought the company would go out of business, belly up, or double its price at this point in time. Don't you think?
Yeah, you think I like the idea of it, but I don't think it's sustainable. But people seem to love it a lot, and I there's a way. I'm sure if you get enough people in on it, there's a way for somebody to for profits to be made. But like I said, with the movie ticket prices and the prices of concessions and all that, and just all the great content coming out on these streaming services, I think that movie theaters have a high probability of becoming a thing of the past within the next 10-15 years.
Well, MoviePass makes a lot of its money from third-party advertising and saying, well, if you really like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, you're gonna love this from, let's say, for random type of deal, Hot Topic, or this at J.C. Penney or something like that that's related to the film and whatnot. I know they got in trouble when they had a tracking device that similarly that was going to follow your movements and offer suggestions within a certain mile radius from whatever theater that you just left. I know they got in trouble for that and they had to modify that, but they're still they're pretty upfront as far as what they're dealing with as far as third party advertising and saying, hey, we can get you these prices on the movie pass and we can get you this great deal for continuously going to movies for just this amount, because we deal with third party advertising. And for that, I'm cool with. I don't like the tracking thing, and I'm glad they fixed that, but I'm cool with getting that third party advertising if it means a great deal, which I think these other deals that you were talking about, both you and I have got to embrace in order if they want to be able to sustain and compete with MoviePass long term.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see any of those other models that you talked about staying around. I think Movie Heroes does so well just because it's kind of isolated and it's on the independently owned movie theater circuit and in a place where there are a lot of indie theaters. So, good for them. But yeah, I think Movie Pass it's the way to go, and eventually these companies are going to have to stop fighting them and start joining them, or else they're going to be losing out on potential profits and people just going to the movie theaters in general.
So you don't think Movie Heroes is going to be something that is sustainable on a nationwide basis?
No, I don't think sorry, I don't think that it works because it's mostly in smaller communities in mid to northern California, and it does well for them because it's in small towns, lots of communities. Like I said, if you want to go to an IMAX film, obviously you're not going to be able to use a movie hero thing for that because you got to go down into wherever the big cities are and sit in Edwards or something. But for what it is and the size and scope of it, it works, and movie theater people are on board with it, so good for them, and same with Movie Pass. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed. And as long as those deals keep going, man, I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted to get Movie Pass. It's there. You and I have talked about it before, and as long as those deals keep coming, we're going to be continually enticed by Movie Pass. And at some point in time, you and I both will probably buckle under and get it ourselves. What are your thoughts on Movie Pass and the competitors to Movie Pass? Are you excited as a Movie Pass customer to utilize it? Do you still utilize it heavily? Because one of the things that they talk about is that you use it heavily at the beginning and then drop off dramatically at that point in time, which makes it a more profitable situation for them. Do you defy that and actually continuously go to the movies, or is it something you're finding you're not using regularly enough? Do you also consider some of these other options, such as Movie Heroes or what we talked about with AMC and Cinemark and other properties that are out there? Or do you think that they're not even close to what Movie Pass has to offer? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Manica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Before we head on out and before I ask you what we're looking forward to for the Monday show, my friend, I want to give a big shout out to KBOG 97.9 FM, Bandon Community Radio. They've, it looks like from all what we're seeing that we're going to be a part of their schedule. So we just so much thank them for allowing us onto the schedule, plus also the many other radio stations that have picked us up as well. We cannot thank them enough for doing so. Any last thoughts on the way out, my friend?
No, none that I can think of at the moment. I did watch Pacific Rim, and it was pretty bad, but still sort of entertaining. But we could talk about that later.
Yeah, I actually saw it too about 2 weeks ago, Pacific Rim Uprising. I also saw Tomb Raider. I've caught up with most of the major films that have come out this year. Near the end of the month, hopefully right around the beginning, I'm going to probably give a updated list of the best and worst. It's 6 months, best and the worst, the first 6 months of 2018, the best and the worst of the first 6 months of 2018. I'm going to give a list of that probably on our popculturecosmos.wordpress.com site. So be looking for that and a whole lot more from us. We're still working on that top 200 list of the top 200 video games. That's a long list, and we're trying to devote as much time as we can to that. Even with all of our other stuff that we're doing. So stay tuned for that and so much more. We truly appreciate you hanging out with us one more time, and look forward to giving you an update on Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, an update on the Star Wars anthology series, and so much more on our Monday Pop Culture Cosmos program. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day, right? It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the PCC Multiverse. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.